Good morning. This is Wendy, and I'm going to show you a hopefully brief tutorial on ER Central. So I will head to that website. When I email you this video, I will also email you the link so that you can just get to it directly. So here you have the ER Central website. You do not need to worry about username and password. I have used this for 2.5 years without ever logging in or registering, so you can just continue on to the site. So down here you'll see this select word list. We have always just used general. You can change it. You can see the other options that are here, but for our purposes, general is sufficient. This box, however, we use a lot of. This is where you'll pick the level that you're targeting. I'm not sure what you'll use for English Connect 1 and 2, but our level 1 in English Connect 3 starts at level 7, high elementary. Just for reference, our level 2 correlates with level 10, level 3 correlates with level 13, and our highest level, level 4, correlates with level 15. So I'm going to show you something that's at English Connect 3, level 1. And what I have over here is I've pulled up a passage that's was written for our can-do practices. It's a listening passage, and this is just the text for something that was recorded later. So I'm going to copy the passage and then bring it over here and paste it in this big white box in the middle. It takes a second, it reformats. If you use if you copy something that's in like a grid, or it will reformat, and it will work with anything if after it reformats it. So I'm going to come and hit go to just see where we're at with this passage. And it runs through this and it will show you what proper nouns are. I actually feel like Dom should have been a proper noun. I ran this through a few minutes ago, and Dom, even though it's a proper noun, was coming up under other. I ignored it though. I'll show you that in a second. But this number right here, the coverage percentage score, is what we usually, well, this is what we look at. 87% is low. Our target is 95% for ER Central. So what I need to do here is wordsmith this a little bit. So you can look for synonyms. You can, sometimes we've defined words depending on what the exercise was. So there might be times where you say, oh, message is out of level. I'm going to give the students a definition. And that's okay, but I also feel like a lot of our job with leveling materials is to not give definitions, but to create it at a level that they don't need to always refer to definitions. And that can be done if the material is original. If you're using a quote from a general authority, you can't reword it unless, I mean, you could paraphrase it. But this is an original piece that I wrote, so I can definitely change it so that it's more appropriately targeting an English Connect 3 level 1 learner. So I could say, I'm leaving you this voice message. Maybe I could say something like, I, I am calling you about tomorrow. And then we could look at this part of the sentence as actually even the sentence structure is probably too advanced. But we're looking at vocabulary right now. I'm calling you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is our combined. So combined is, I can look over here, I see that combined is level 10. That's pretty high. Well, what about if I say group book report? Can you bring your laptop and the battery pack? Both laptop and battery pack are, let's see, the laptop is way out of level, battery is quite out of level. Let's change this. So I'm going to change the meaning, but I'm going to say, can you bring your book? Oops. I bet book is probably in level. Can you bring your book? I can't find mine, just to give it, I don't know, make sense. Then let's see. Also, Jake, this whole sentence is kind of complex. Let's say also Jake is sick. I can simplify that and just remove all of these words. Jake is sick. He's not coming. We'll have to do it without him. Let's arrive early to practice one last time. See you then. Okay, so now I modified it a little. I'm going to hit go again, and let's see. I'm trying to make this closer to 95%. Let's see how I did. So, okay, that's not too bad. I only have one word that's out of level now, and it's at level 8. And my coverage is not 100%, which is okay because it's 95% and higher is basically what we've looked for. So I feel pretty good about this being something that's attainable for one of our students at this level. Just a couple other things I wanted to show you real quick is that I pulled up just to give you an idea, this is Elder Uchtdorf's conference talk from this last general conference. I'm going to copy this, just a section of it, because it is very long, which ER Central can handle length. It just gets kind of messy. So just for the purpose of showing you this example, I'm going to run this through again at level 7. Let's see what happens. So this is 84%. Probably not something that you know what, this is tricky because I just did this in preparation for this video. I wanted to show you ignoring words. So a lot of times in English Connect 3 we've thought, well, most of our learners are church members, and so they're likely words like President Russell M. Nelson, they don't need those defined, and even in English they would probably recognize that. I also thought that apostle is cognate with a lot of our learners' first languages. They probably could figure out that. Bible, they probably don't need a definition and it wouldn't count against them. So I have already gone in and ignored these words. I'm thinking now that maybe also prophet is a word that they would probably know that. So to ignore it, I highlight it and I hit ignore word, hit go again, and now it turns a little shade of green and my percentage score is up a little bit higher. Now this still, 85% is still, that's too low for comprehensibility. But just out of curiosity, so this I was looking at for level 1. What if I change it to our highest level, or level 4, which we run at level 15? Let's see what it looks like if we wanted to change the level. And this is 95% now. That's a much more appropriate level, I think, the coverage score for level 4. So if I really wanted to use this, because this is, because we can't change, obviously, direct quotes and things, this would fit at a higher level, level 4, but not so much for level 1. Another thing, sorry, this video is, I'm trying to get it in 5 minutes or less, but I'm not being very successful. I just wanted to show you another thing that another trick that I've learned. If, for example, I'm rewriting or leveling a passage that maybe it's a conversation or something in the cafeteria on campus, and I want to say something about cookies, and I'm curious, where does the word cookie? So maybe you're just, you don't have to run a whole text is the point that I'm getting at. You can check just 1 or 2 levels. And I'm just thinking cookie. Okay, could I write about cookie? Well, level cookie actually comes up at level 16. That's higher than I expected. So that maybe I couldn't or wouldn't want to base the passage around cookie. How about cake though? Where does cake fit in? Cake, it appears, is actually in level. So that would be a better alternative to cookie. And I mean, you basically could write a conversation or a scenario involving either one, and it's essentially the same. But cake is at level and cookie is not at level. So I would go with cake instead of cookie. Um, and just one final thing to show you. This is interesting. If you come over here to the statistics and click on this drop down menu, go to in level, and it will show you, I'll scroll up, it will show you the word that's instead of the out of level, which is here, in level, you can see here that cake is level 4. So really, according to ER Central, cake is something that should be an easily comprehensible word for even a level 1 student because it's way down at level 4. So those are some of the techniques that I've used to, as I've worked a lot with ER Central in the last couple of years, to figure out where the language fits. One other thing is if I were to ignore a word that's out of level, and then even if you close the website ER Central and come back into it for like 6 hours, this word cookie is ignored. Like it saves that information, and that's one thing. Unless you go back and, I don't know, delete cookies, not not that cookie, you know, the cookies in the web browser. I haven't tried that, but that might work. But sometimes, I don't know, I carefully ignore words because it's difficult to unignore a word. So unless you find a quicker way, then please let me know. But otherwise, that's one challenge I've found with ER Central, is that once it's ignored, it stays ignored for a long time, like even till the next day. So that's my tutorial on ER Central. Coming up next will be the clauses per sentence analyzer.